Back at the bus, we called Arnold through the television. "Come in, Arnold," we said. "Dorothy Ann," Arnold said. "What's taking—" "Was there anything else in the bag besides the hoop?" D.A. asked, interrupting him. We watched on the screen as Arnold pulled stuff out of his bag. Some baby pictures, booties, a pacifier, and suddenly some arrows. "Where'd you get those arrows?" The arrow tips looked dull and seemed to be decorated just like the hoop. We guessed that the arrows and the hoop went together. But how, we wondered. Suddenly, Dorothy Ann realized that the arrows would probably fit through the holes in the hoop's net. "I need one of those arrows," she exclaimed. And with that, she raced to the auditorium. She grabbed an arrow from Arnold and zoomed back to the lab. "Think, theorize, guesstimate, suppose. I have a hypothesis to test." "You're leaving me alone again?" Arnold called after Dorothy Ann. Suddenly he heard our school being announced. "Join me in welcoming the contestant from Walker Elementary School," the announcer said. Arnold felt sick. Hi," he said into the microphone. This is an artifact, something from long ago, and from objects like this, we can figure out how people live their lives if you know how to read the clues," he continued. Back at the lab, the Fritz made copies of the arrows while Dorothy Ann added information to the suppositron. Before we knew it, we were following Dorothy Ann through the screen into a hoops and arrows competition. "What's going on?" we asked. "Don't you get it?" responded Dorothy Ann. "What's round, different colors, and goes with something pointy?" she asked excitedly. "A dartboard!" exclaimed Wanda. "So maybe our artifact was a game," suggested Phoebe, "and maybe you have to get the arrow through the holes. This sounded good to us. Even long ago, people needed to have fun." Then we noticed that the rim of the hoop was worn down. We guessed that the hoop didn't stay still like a dartboard. Instead, maybe the hoop was rolled along the ground while other people tried to throw their arrows through it. "Let's play hoops and arrows." We were having so much fun playing hoops and arrows that we forgot all about poor Arnold. But Arnold was busy talking to the audience. He was telling them that the hoop might be a shield. "Ooh!" cried the audience. "Well, actually," said Arnold, lifting the hoop to his face, "it would be kind of useless because arrows could go right through the holes." "Oh," sighed the crowd. Arnold continued. He knew he had to keep the audience's attention. "Pretend you're paddling along a river, trying to catch fish. You sweep the water," he said as he pretended to be catching fish with the hoop. "Then realize you better get a paddle that doesn't leak." Arnold's heart was pounding. "Imagine you're at a ceremony," he told the audience. "The fire roars, the drummers pound, the dancers sway, and then—" "What?" cried the audience. You wonder why you brought this hat, because there's no way it will stay on your head when you dance," sighed Arnold as the hoop rolled off the stage. The audience groaned. But as he chased the rolling hoop, he suddenly figured it out. "Ladies and gentlemen," Arnold announced, "believe it or not, this artifact is something kids know really well. It's a game. The object of the game was probably to get the arrows through the rolling hoop." "You see," Arnold told the audience, "this is only a hypothesis, a good guess, but the things left behind by people who lived long ago, like this hoop, give us clues about how they lived. and it's up to archaeologists like us to fit the clues together. The audience clapped loudly for Arnold and stood on their feet. We ran into the auditorium just as Arnold was being handed the top prize. He bowed and said, "This award doesn't belong to me alone. It belongs to all my classmates at Walker Elementary. Thank you." The best performance by a team who didn't look like they knew what they were doing, but somehow came through at the last second award. How did he figure it out without us? Letters from our readers. Editor's note: they will help you tell what is real and what is make-believe in this story. Dear Editor, it's too bad real archaeologists can't have something like that suppositron. If there was such a thing, anybody could be an archaeologist. Your friend, a supposer. Dear Supposer, even though there is no such thing as a suppositron, we made one up for the story because archaeologists think the way the suppositron works. The Editor. Dear Editor, if that hoop was really made of wood, I doubt it would have survived all those years. Signed, You Can't Fool Me. Dear You Can't Fool Me, you're right. Wood and clothing are the first things to rot away. That's why most ancient artifacts that are still around are things made of stone or pottery or metal. Good catch. The Editor. Archaeologists figure out how people lived long ago by collecting and studying artifacts. Artifacts are left-behind objects like pieces of buildings, tools, even toys or games like the hoops and arrows game in this book. Buried or hidden away for centuries, artifacts are often our only link to life in the past. Archaeologists gather data or information by digging, chipping, and brushing away layers of soil. They must keep careful records of every artifact they find, including exactly where they found it and how deep it was buried and what shape it's in. From this information, archaeologists can guess the age of the artifact. Even the tiniest artifact may give a clue about how people lived. Usually, one artifact is not enough to make a good guess about life in the past. Just like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, archaeologists need to find many artifacts in order to fit their clues together. Miss Frizzle.